Hello, beautiful friends. I hope that this video finds you happy and well today. It is a new moon, and we are also rapidly approaching solstice and the holiday of Christmas, and all the joy in the world is among us. So, I haven't checked in a few days. How are you doing? What do you need to check in about? I set an intention this morning to do a reading for those who watch this video. So I hope that this pertains to you and that it resonates. I did it both for the one watching, for the beloved of this person, you, that's you, and their shared energy. So I'm going to start, and I've got a large smidging of cards going on, smidging. So we're going to start with you. So we've got this Starlight card. Now, this is what immediately struck me about this card is, this is kind of the Make-A-Wish card. This is wishes coming true, wishing upon a star. But to me, this really feels like it's reminiscent of the Solstice Gateway, particularly, which is coming up to us on Sunday. So, what I see with this is it's just like getting clear. It is such a wonderful time to get clear with your intentions as we move into this season of pure yin, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, of course. And is where we're going to work with these deep inner seeds, these deep inner our subconscious realm. We're really working in these dark nights to get intentional with what this light, what the darkness can show us and guide us with the light. Now, what immediately struck me is the counterpart card came out as the Five of Spells. And it really, to me, felt like this juxtaposition of work. Is kind of pinging up into the soul realm, and then this is the pinging down into the earth realm and the earthly manifestation. So these two cards together really show me that there is an alchemical process happening between the pair. And what's beautiful about that is, as you hold the clarity of intentions, and I've been finding with myself even that the intention isn't even about getting specific to like what it is, what the thing is, or what it looks like. It's really getting specific to the energy and the peace and the ease that you want to cultivate. Now, you can assign a vision to that if you want to get deliberate and specific, but I've really just felt like it's almost like it's holding the expansiveness of this night sky. It's holding the expansiveness of all of the wishes of the planet, of all of the hopes, all of the dreams. And, the counterpart energy is facilitating that by working on their own inner alchemy so that they can get more deliberate in manifesting this vision. So, this is a card of trial and error. I always think of it as kind of like year one at Hogwarts. We're really trying out new spells, not really understanding our magic, knowing that we all have the capability where this is. So it's like as our higher selves or as these beloveds, it's like the different gifts that you offer as it relates to co-creating. And even if this, if we're referring to the beloved, not as the outer beloved, but the inner beloved, this is the two parts of if you want to manifest something, also be intentional about what steps you need to take towards getting to this larger vision. So this really feels like a groundwork that is rooted in fun trial and error. There's not a heaviness to this card. It's really just like, oh, I tried that, it didn't work, da 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 da. Like, and this in itself feels like an energy of transformation. So if we're tuning in to more of the collective with this, I think this level of transformation is the wake up call. It's not just, this is the embodiment of the dreams and the knowing that we're walking the path towards the dreams, where this is kind of the sloppy, like, oh, wait, I know that I can, but how? And, it's the beginning of the movie. Now, what's interesting about the shared energy is we got a lot of sparkle still, and we've got this king of spells who is a total wizard. He is a great alchemist. So these two energies working together in the third energy really feels super telling that we are working towards something really beautiful. Now, I did draw an inner child card because I was like, what's the overall lesson here? And we got the Six of Crystals, the Six of Pentacles. And to me, this card does really represent all of these together, right? You've got the snowflake, you've got the alchemy of taking steps, working in community. You've got that clarity of sight and you're reaching for new heights. But this is a reaching for a new height while remaining grounded. It's reaching for the stars, but actually being able almost to pull them down and saying, this is how we embrace these energies. This is how it moves forward. So this feels really good overall as to what we're cultivating. And, I drew this for whoever watches these videos. I don't have a ton of people who watch them, but I really deeply feel that we are all on the precipice of really walking towards some much bigger visions manifesting. Now, my feeling is that for 2026, those of us who have been walking the path and like working on our leadership skills, working on how we're cultivating our desires, how we're cultivating our intentions, we are going to be leaders for this new earth that's going to be emerging in the coming years. Now, with 2026, things are going to are going to look absolutely insane. That there's a lot of darkness still coming out of the shadows, but the light that counters the darkness is so much more expansive, and we're all so much more aware that in ways that we've never been. So I think that that's quite beautiful. All right, so I was asking for the subconscious lessons, or, because this is still in the inner world. This is what we're inner working. And some of it does extend uh, outwardly as well. Of course, our inner world often does. But I was like, what are the lessons here of the subconscious? Now, I didn't read the book. I just wanted to go off the image that these cards invoked. So for those watching this video, it says bury your dead. Now, I'm really just feeling the countering of these two things coming up together. So this is the counterpart energy, which is restore innocence. So what it to me really feels like, it is this death of like leaving the underworld. It is this death of old relationship patterns, of old karma, its stories coming to a close. And it's not quite over. It feels like by April, we should have most of these stories be culled and this new birth is coming forward. I love that that car zoomed by. That felt very, I said zoom and then anyway, very powerful. So this new essence is coming forward to bless us. So during this time, and as we're in these winter energies, and coming up to April brings us into spring. So it feels like these two are really working together. It's like as you bury your demons, as not even bury them, it says bury your dead. As you release the parts of yourself that are no longer serving you, as bring more light into the heavier patterns that have shown up in your life, you actually are simultaneously doing this work of restoring your innocence, restoring your purity. We're meant to walk through this world with a childlike sense of play, with awe and ease and grace. Even during the times that it's challenging, should be able to ping into those places of playfulness, per my perception. So, I really love these two images together because, what stands out to me are these ears. And this character here also has ears. Now, could they be the same? Sure. There might be different versions. This could be the reborn part. But what I see with the ears and what I've been saying a lot is we have to be listening with our souls, less with our human form, less with our human ears. That's an important sight too. But it's like almost these ear chakras are really starting to open up and activate so that when we listen to someone, we're absorbing their words, we're hearing their words, and our cognitive brain follows that almost as a brief outline. But really, what we're doing is we're activating parts of our souls and each other's souls through what we're sharing. So again, that comes back to the intentionality that we're bringing forward. What are you sharing? What are the stories? How are you telling those stories? And we've talked about this before, but it's like, how are you listening to yourself? How are you listening to others? And how are you listening to the world of soul, the world of the spirit? And bringing that down into a physical embodiment practice. Part of restoring innocence, how often do kids love to bury things in the dirt, to dig, 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 dig? Well, a part of digging is grounding, all right? And it's grounding and it's re-alchemizing with the beauty of the earth that is around us and being present with her medicine, with her light. So I feel like that's the invitation of these two cards. Now, the last card I drew here for this, kind of inner workings, it was honor your body as friend. And again, with these two, this felt like the merging of these two things. It's almost like if this girl and this, creature came together, they would have components of that, or as she merges with this creature. So what I'm seeing with this beautiful being, this is the metamorphosis process. This is the butterfly. This is the thing that's like emerging from the cocoon, reborn, more grounded, more aware, is a completely different being through this transition. Now, I think what's beautiful about our dear friend here and, honoring the body, what I really heard when I drew this card is honor the physical. So, as we're growing and expanding, and I know for myself that as I identify more of my own patterns, it's easier to identify other people. And then I get to choose consciously how I want to relate or dance with that dance or not to. There's a lot of seedy patterns out there that I don't necessarily want to hold or engage with if that other person isn't also in a conscious process of their own experience and how they influence other people. Okay, so now we're going to move to the external and what this looks like showing up. All right, so it's those of you watching this video, I drew for you both the Fool and the Ten of Bowls, so the Ten of Cups. So what I see with this seed card, is this really, and I love how similar this card is to the Seers of Light, which that deck's not even in here. I was thinking about it. Anyway, but is this precipice of being on the edge of something new, of immersing yourself in the new world. I almost see it's like, yeah, she's giving this blessing, she's sprinkling these seeds like into a river, and there's a mandala over here, but really she could jump off into this river too and like be a part of this ritualistic rebirth. So I almost feel like as we go into this winter solstice and with this new moon simultaneously, right now we're in this darkness to really and not darkness as in the sense of it being heavy, but this, it's like sometimes you take away the sight so that you can see more. I know a lot of times when I do meditations, I wear a blindfold that covers even my third eye because any external light that's coming through in the room, whether through these eyes or this eye, creates a sensitivity that blocks that inner sight. So I feel like this is an invitation to really develop that inner sight so that the intentional ritualistic practices that you do in the physical like have an even more embodied meaning. And I think that's really what this 10 of bowls, I'm also getting a message around a static dance or just like a deliberate movement process that feels really yummy and fulfilling. So I might suggest that those watching, maybe you get your body into doing some sort of physical practice to engage more of these energies in a more full way. It's always lovely when the Ten of Cups comes up because it is a card of wish fulfillment. It is a happy ending card. It is a happy ending as a new beginning because it's a 10. So I really feel there's a lot of embodiment of joy moving forward coming in the physical. Okay, this next series of cards is very interesting to me. So we got the Two of Pipes, so the Two of Wands, and I want to relate it uh, to this card. So if this is the inner workings and this is the physical embodiment of it, this is might be there's might be some the inner chaos going forward. Um, Oh, okay. And yeah, just to relate these cards before I go to into this, the Fool with the Ten of Cups, these new intentions, these fresh intentions moving forward. So these cards are definitely all related in a significant way. Okay, so this is a kind of an inner chaos. It's trial and error, that sort of thing. But this brings like a really intentional stillness. So it's like the inner world might feel chaotic, and you might be like moving through or your counterpart might be moving through this part of you might be moving through some deeper things, but ultimately what we are working with is finding that center, is connecting to the higher self. Now I also really felt that with all of these cards coming together as well. Like this feels, I was saying that this felt like physical to higher self to physical, but this card shows me that the alchemical component is really grounded, it's fiery, it's passionate, it's alive. Now, this is another type of embodiment of this. This is like the day after, the day before, it's harmony. It's developing those energies of harmony before you merge or you merge into the ritual before you do the ritual. So these are all really powerful things. All right. This is the prayer to the seeds that she sprinkles. So this is the next step. To me, this shows that the counterpart energy is getting more intentional. There's much more connection with the higher self. I also, I'm noticing this boat in the background, and it feels like that is representative of this travel that's going to be taking place, or this journey to be with the other. That this is the intentional practice that comes before the voyage, before the creating of the home space. All right. So I get this message, and I say this, this could come through dreams, this could come through the physical, this could just show up at your front door. But we got the Eight of Pipes. Okay. So to me, this Two of Pipes and this Eight of Pipes, or Eight of Wands and Two of Wands, represents to me that as the counterpart watching this video is in their expression, in their joy, in the clarity of their intention, is just kind of holding it down. And again, I can't reiterate enough that it's not about being specific about what you want. Like, it really is just embodying the energy of what you want to feel. And I know for myself, I just want to feel at peace. I want to feel joy. I want to feel playful. And while I don't mind jumping into those deeper parts of my consciousness, it's like I'm not in the alchemical process right now of needing to be in the stickiness. The example I've been giving a lot of people about how my own personal consciousness has felt like it's made a shift is, in the past, if you've seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life, you have the character George Bailey, who does a lot of wonderful, kind things for his community, but yet he's in this really dense energy because shit keeps hitting the fan for him, and it's just there seems to be no way out, and he thinks about killing himself, or he does, or whatever, there's a thing. And then he meets Clarence, his guardian angel. Now there's the lens that you can view the story as you're in the story, the density of the story, which is George Bailey, and then you have Clarence, who has been watching the story, but he's still a part of it, and it's still a part of his individual journey. Now, the way the lens of the movie is told, it's through George Bailey as the main character, but we could make Clarence a main character if we just shifted where the perspective of the story is. We're all main characters of our own journey, but sometimes it's like, oh, we share the focus, or we shift the focus. Now, what I love about that particular story is Clarence, the angel, he gets punched in the face. He like, he also still is in a point of receiving, a little bit of a beating, even though he's just working on getting his wings. So I guess, as you view archetypes in different stories or in these cards, really assess where it is that you fall into line with this. Now, I do feel, I'm not sure why I went into that, but oh yeah, because that's what she is. So as she or we are doing this work, this is what's going on for the beloved, okay? And this is how it impacts the shared energy in the physical, was the action, or the grounded action. So it's as this alignment happens, this intentionality, I really feel like this is the message that's coming forward. I do feel that these counterparts are going to show up in our at our doors, or show up in our DMs, or whatever. It really feels like physical action is occurring because it has to. This is what we're aligning with at this time and in this space. And what I like too is, like, she's standing outside and kind of watching for, and it almost looks like it's maybe the same hut. She's watching for the boat to arrive. She got the message, and now she's observing and kind of waiting for the arrival of it. Um, or maybe she's waiting for the message. But either way, I like that, this bird is a bird of spirit, and this bird is maybe more of this world. This bird's connecting to the higher self, but it gets sent, into the physical, is really what I'm feeling quite deeply here. Now, what's beautiful is I drew a herbal medicine card as well, and we get these two images. This is the energy of grace, and if we add up the number 29, it is 11. So what I've been seeing, and I think I've spoken to this energy of birds and especially swans. I keep getting images of swans like conjoining their necks. And for me, blue heron, which this obviously is not, but it's blue. The blue heron is like a quirky version of the swan that I resonate a little more. And blue herons can do the same things with their necks because they're long necked birds. So this could be an egret, or perhaps it's another swan. We can't quite tell. But what's beautiful about this thing, it's like this is this balancing of cups, and it's not like, one cup into the other. It's like they're almost completely equal as they're sharing energies. So what I'm seeing is just, it is this connection of heaven and earth that's going down. It is this balancing that is happening with the counterparts. This one can come up here, or this one can go down here. Either way, there is grace and flow happening right now. And that's happening not only within yourselves, but also how we're moving with these things. So I just want to continue to encourage you all to find that stillness. I know I've been feeling really tired, and doing a lot of dense work doesn't feel right now. I've been watching a lot of movies and just kind of enjoying being entertained, or sewing, and a little bit of journaling or whatever. A few weeks ago it was like immersed in it, and that it was a lot. But I'm feeling much more just like I just want to be present with all of the things that are shifting and moving, and really, releasing this old stuff and saying, that's not who I am anymore. And, I've gotten the ticket for the boat, but I haven't gotten on the boat yet. I've got the plane ticket, or I've got the resources to buy the plane ticket, or whatever. These things are shifting in this way of you really feel this ability for quantum movement to occur. So, and it's not even quantum at this time. Like, we're in the newer timeline. We're on the precipice of this newer timeline that we're going to be able to start walking soon. But right now it's just like we're packing our bags, or we're not packing our bags, and we're just like going on the trip with saying, I've got all the tools that I need that are within me. So, this is a lot of really good stuff. I'm really proud of you for all doing the work, for showing up for each other, for showing up for yourself by watching videos and seeking out information. If you'd like an individual session, now is a wonderful time to do some readings. So, if you'd like to reach out, please do. I'm Haley, and I'm a clairvoyant, and I would love to read your cards and to be with your energy and do a clear reading, which are readings with clearings infused in them. So they're really set the intention to set you more onto the path that's the most in line with your soul. So if you want to reach out, prismhealers@gmail.com is a great way to reach me. My schedule is it changes every day, and it's fluid in a lot of ways, but it also moves fast. So I just like to connect and say, what's your availability, and see how it merges with mine. So please send me an email if you're interested in that. And I wish you many blessings. Happy new moon. If I don't pop on again before solstice, happy solstice, happy Christmas, happy New Year. We are on it. We're doing the work. So stay great. Thanks for bearing with my harsh lighting today. The sun really wanted to light me up. So anyway, many blessings. Aho.